morning, afternoon, or evening. I hope everybody can hear me just fine. I've had some audio problems recently, figuring out why I don't have why I have an echo. I'm trying to level audio. This is Citizen Sleeper. I found it for very cheap, and I'm interested in seeing what it's about, because I like a lot of the ideas that are in a game like this. So an operator works with drones. Yeah, I'm constantly hearing myself for some reason. Let me see if I can figure that out for a moment. Okay, so right now I should only have monitoring two things. That really shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't be anything else anyway. See if that stops it. And then I'll try another one, and then I'm going to give up on making it stop. So, the operator works with drones and remote equipment. Complex tasks from a distance, usually cerebral and precise. I don't know. The extractor work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Okay. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. So using strength or strength of will. I don't like that one so much. Machinist repairs and modifies systems. Usually diligent, careful, and structured. Bad at approaching a problem head-on. Bad at using strength or strength of will. Bad at approaching with awareness. So I don't like this one because it's like using strength to get through things. This one working with digital interfaces, and this one working with machines and physical tools. I think I like the operator best. Okay. So weird thing going on for me right now in OBS is I have audio monitoring to off and everything. I don't know what's going on with that then. I don't know if I changed how this works, but I don't think I did. Let's look. Yeah, I'm on monitor off on every audio. So there's only one more thing I can think of. There we go. I think I just figured it out. Okay. I also think the game is quite loud right now. I'm going to go into options and reduce that. Definitely going to change that. And since I think I just figured out what was going on, I'm also going to put back some of the other things I had. Okay. Ideally, OBS is set up now. Anybody who has the chance, please just type in the chat if there's an issue with audio. Any kind of issue you can see. Need more voice? No problem. Also, feel free to unfollow and follow again if you want to hear the audio for that. It's random, so that might be nice. Microphone is at full. Let me see if I can boost that. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, I took that up to 130%. Let's see if that gets any better. It's odd, when I did this for just changing the options, I felt like it loaded faster. Might also just be my setup is struggling. Black screen is what the game is basically offering right now. There's technically a loading thing, I think, behind my icon, but yeah. It is very slowly loading. Actually, can I do something with that right now quickly? No, they'll leave it. Okay, so you got a black screen before. Ideally now, according to my everything here, you should be able to see the game. So the first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting, minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. I'm going to think about that body. Leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction on a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. Leap into a cold lake? No. The cold slips in, behind and around you. The sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. So this would be like a coffin. Yeah, resists the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next. And retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. Yeah, I'd be feeling the claustrophobia pretty hard. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. That's big ouch, yeah. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away into chaos, slip into cargo processing. Seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock, even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, You might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. I'm gonna rest. But you are restless. Hey, I'm trying to rest. It's been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You've been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It's time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. So right now it seems like this is not a person, but a copy of a person, and maybe many copies of a person that were forced to work on an asteroid. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. We don't know if a person sold themselves, or rather their copies, into slavery, or if they were promised something else, but it seems like getting to somewhere is progress. You feel something. Warmth, not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor, sound too everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Ducks is an audio term for making part of audio quieter compared to other audio. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. So this is Dragos. Dragos looks messed up to me. Wrinkled lips, possibly dehydration, but also kind of saggy skin with lots of marks. Their clothes are clearly kind of beaten. They have like a suit of some kind, but aren't really wearing all of it. And apparently they have some kind of a buddy on their shoulder. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Well, that's nice. Giving us some heat. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ship, some corroded beyond recognition. Others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, are you almost thawed yet? Yeah, I guess, almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have been better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. So apparently people have tried to escape before in other ways. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his head set with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irisine eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Does that mean he sees through the drone and not through what look like eyes? That's kind of interesting, too. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. Oh, that's an actual ship back there. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. This is what I intend to do. This isn't really helpful, but this might tell me what happened to others so I could avoid it. Thank you. He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. and you're just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Dystopia. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been and how long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye is the station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freighter container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back to the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. And I believe I chose operator, which means I'd be doing the same kind of stuff he is. Erlin's Eye. There's going to be cycles during which you can talk to characters and explore areas of the station and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle. Let's end the cycle. Wild Mantine appeared. I like collecting Pokemon with that game. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and it's disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. I'm going to see if I can adjust. Okay, we do have options now. That's a little better. Doesn't seem to let me do anything with the visuals, but that's okay. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? I think building a life. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Agreed. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a little life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. A blanket, a bedroll, a canister of water. A makeshift electric stove is nice. And some faded sachets of some desiccated power. Maybe that's some kind of nutrients? You thumb the power stud on the stove and begin to boil water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood. You sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images. And it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough strength to greet the day. Your condition is the state of your body. It depletes 1 each cycle. If it empties, you have a breakdown. Yeah. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. Once you've used your dice, you can't take any further actions and have to rest to recover them. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. I guess that's the third part. So condition, dice, and then bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. It depletes by 2 each cycle. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss. So your condition will deplete at double rate per cycle. That's fun. Data and items is nothing. I can't really... Oh, wait. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset. In the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted, so that does not come off. The drone sits on his shoulder. Its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? I guess okay. The drone chirps good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses, so I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Yeah. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for crypto, or cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, we'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... But things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need the help. What's going on? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. He nods distractedly, turns, and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later. Looks like it's time to get to work. Oh, okay. So we can mouse wheel up and down the station, I guess. What is that? Low-end gate? And Dragos' yard. And the empty container. Perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Okay. Hull dissection, cutting carefully and skillfully, and risky. Manual salvage, sort and cut. Okay. Looks like I don't think I have the skills to be able to do either one especially well. Critical actions can only be performed once. Money or energy loss if you fail with a risky. And as long as it tells us which one it's going to be, that's not too bad, because we get to see the penalties. I don't like the -1 endure, and the ender, this one's risky, but I wonder if we can pull 2? I guess no. 50% positive, 50% neutral. Not good. This has got a 25% chance of negative also. $50-50? Does it not even matter which one it says up here? Actions often progress clocks. Yes. Clocks are displayed. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' death, are cycle clocks. You'll unlock drives as you discover more about yourself in the world. You can track drives. I suppose that's what that is. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. You're now free to explore. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep energy up and a way to recover condition. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. I guess that's like a Harvest Moon. If you end up at the end of the day not at home, that's not going to be good. Okay, so we've got 2 positives. Need to access a corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise the escape attempt will come to a... Yeah. Let's see what the low means. Oh, what's this? The Rotunda Wet Dock? Explore the Rotunda. Let's explore the Rotunda. It's risky. Neutral, Dock Watcher. The overlooked bar. Another dock. And a marketplace. I don't like the danger on that one. I don't mind so much risky. Oh, negative. We lost energy. Well, it's time to leave and go home anyway. I don't know if we're going to gain energy here. I think we'll gain some from resting, but I could be wrong. Nope. We're now starving. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you're gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, then extensions, as you feel thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. You find a point in the station, and you connect to it. Pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. Touch more points than you have fingers. Then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly, you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow it's pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. So we are fading and starving, but have 3 good dice now. Let's leave the container. Now we have 30 credits. That's the shipyards. Yeah, that's just construction shipyards. I think we need to get over the market. We're starving. Let's go with the danger. Local knowledge. You end up in a drink stall debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You try to remember all the tips your companions offer you. You can find anything and everything here. I don't know if we're supposed to be able to buy things here, though. Oh, doctor. Sabine, slum doctor. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway toward the open apartment door. Keep your head down, your shoulders high. Try not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you're not so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the decaying hab block, flickering lights, they've made a long queue, a test of your nerves. But your options are few. Without a stabilizer for this body, you suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. I'll look at the enforcer. You dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He's there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert his eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market-sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you're transfixed by the motion. Come, sit, calls a sharp voice. You see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, then quickly regain their composure, so they are not used to seeing one of these. Please sit, they gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying, they say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. Sound familiar? Yes. I've never noticed that a horse changes its expression when it blinks. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you're unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as she works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. Yeah, advertise this stream on your server. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate. Their note's complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. I'm just going to say thank you. Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. So we are still starving. Can we eat? Hardware exchange? Okay, I don't have any scrap. Play the exchange. I don't like either of those, really. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. He watches as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner handing over payment. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby moths, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives. Their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. I like that. Eventually, it's your turn. You shuffle to the front. Emphasis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you, you sleepers, Emphas says while he cooks. Hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks. His eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites and scares you, and you're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off. I think that should be more trail off. Running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. But next time you pay. That was an Automod thing. Sorry about that, Tibbles. I'm wondering if food is going to help. He slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you again and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric pattern of circular scars across his forearm, each surrounding a constellation of glinting pin marks. Yeah, what is that? I don't think that's on the character sketch. You walk away, and as you do, take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. And we aren't starving anymore. Look at that. I thought we had to eat only a very specific thing. But I think that's to restore condition, not to restore hunger. I wonder what the price is going to be normally, though. So I want to go back here so we can see if we can pay off Drago's debt a bit. And then we'll go back to the box. So he's almost done. Otherwise, we have to wait for that stabilizer anyway. Let's end the cycle. We're ending, we're not hungry. Our condition is above 50%. Devour ooblets, amass wealth. Hey, don't talk about devouring ooblets. I've done far too many ooblets streams to devour any of them. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It's clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring through these forms, then leap off into the void. That's rather scary. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to cry. Let's focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one a pyramid or a triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange, but before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. I should have some Ooblet streams saved in videos on demand. I'll have to take a look because I know they kind of expire at some time. But I also transferred them all over to YouTube. So worst case, they're on YouTube. I can give you the link for that too. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across the ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They're in a ship, and the ship is approaching even closer, ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. I did not expect to find a tracker was involved, or that there'd be a tracker on the station. Okay, so it looks like our condition may control how many dice we get. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. That one actually says agent. That one also says agent. This node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace. Abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. It's currently locked. Match your dice to the one displayed at the right of the action. You'll be given more possible dice to match if you have a bonus. So, I can't match that. That's really interesting. Can't that one either. Three is closer, and it looked like maybe there's a 2. What is that? I guess that's a cipher, would be like a special data item. Wait. Okay, so they're not sequential either. If you have a bonus, they'll give you just another random one, I guess. Okay. So I don't have any of those. But that is good to know. Meanwhile, I want to spend one more here. See if we can get that debt paid off. And get a little bit more cash, maybe. Okay, back in business is done. We're still waiting for Sabine. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She is a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it's lowered into the yard. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggled to gather the same enthusiasm as Drago's for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think what happened to its crew. What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm going to need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked up inside that container, the wreck of the Essen ARP freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered? Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side, Winter Light. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out to the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. If I have some extra, I'll definitely come back over for that, but... Wait, upgrade? You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top right of the screen. Oh, top right. I'm dumb. Okay, so we are playing an operator. We want a bonus to this. Double data. Self-repair. Or a discount. Oh, I like that one. Photosynthetic skin. But what we really want to do is repair condition. We want self-repair. Because if we can get energy from food, we don't need the photosynthetic skin nearly as much as we need this one. And that's what, 2 upgrade points? Gain random scrap. We're to -1 maybe? Oh no, we don't get to see what the 3 would be. Daisy, I made like basically all my regular viewers moderators. You feel free to do whatever modding you want. Unless you're on a whole new account that also needs that. Which I'm not sure. So, is it possible to wait? So this is a +1, would become a +2. This is a +1. Okay, so I think we have to have the prerequisite then. Which means we would have to have this before we can get the self-repair. What's it saying a +1 for? Because we can change that to a plus maybe? Oh, interesting. Okay, so first you get like a dice bonus, then you get the ability, then you have to take another dice bonus, then another ability again. Huh. And then this is all under 1, but then it becomes 2 and then 3. Okay. I think we can handle that. We just have to survive long enough. So let's see. Where else? I want to get food, because if we can get food, we can get our energy up. And I like the idea of going to a grimy bar, but... Oh my gosh, she's going to have like at least 3 days maybe before that finishes. Let's see about food and how much food is going to cost. Only 15? Yeah. Yeah, give it here. Wait, how do I do this then? Oh. Duh. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at that. Almost full energy. And if it's like 15 per day, we can pretty easily manage that. So really it's just the condition that's going to be hard right now. Okay, is there anything to be done here, or are we just waiting? I think it's just waiting. And she sources some stabilizers. Let's see what's going on with the wet dock. No. And the other one? No. So how about the bar? Buy rations for 10? Get a drink for less? They notice who their regulars are. Maybe a good thing. Especially if it ups our energy the rest of the way. Look at that. Yes. Okay, full energy should help a lot for the next day. Assist a shipbuilder. Or haul materials, which is dangerous. It was risky. Let's do the full 6. Let's do it again. $5 cryo. That is a tiny bit of cash. But making connections is good. Let's call the day. And see if we end up with 5 tomorrow for having a full robot tummy. No, we still have 3. So maybe it's a combination of condition and energy, because we just lost all that energy, possibly based on condition. Someone out there is tracking you. It won't be long before they arrive. But we've got 1s now. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor. Sleeper, wake up. As you close up... Oh wait, sorry. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Glad I caught you. Do I know you? You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. He's a systems engineer. You stand in that thing? He nods back at the container, shaking his hands. Rough. Shaking his head. It'd be hard to get a start on the eye. Yeah? What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Yeah, who is Erlin? You pass together into the main walkway. No one's told you about Erlin? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Hivenage should organize some seminars. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Yeah, what about systems? Everything the eye runs on. Runs a handle along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keep it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you, but this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about your sleepers, well, there's work to be done. I think he wants access to the eye systems that I've been doing. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okay. Well, we're going to do some more of this eye stuff now, since we have some low dice. Not that one. That one's a 2 or a 3. The data here is part of a cache, tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this, and for what purpose? Why don't we see? An encrypted key, a stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. So there are items, and there's data items, basically. It's a 2 or a 3. I have a 1 and a 4. But I saw a lot of ones last time. 1,000 cycles ago was the last time somebody accessed this. Makes me say I want to find out. I guess that's just another one. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you, a thread. Strung tight around you, it tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. It soars somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Please hold. That's some kind of a hunter? The thread around you thickens until it's a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It's blinding and then gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. The shape paces around you on lithe legs, even though there's no ground to pace on. Entity, identity, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Unknown known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature. Of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? Incorrect, you're an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of your eyes, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will access. I will interface. Yeah, what sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Is there cyber attacks here? You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, and separates. Yeah, wake up, please. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. So, Hunter, did I do something and it saw? Yeah. These are keys, but I don't think that... Yeah, that's not the right kind of key, I guess. A 3 and a 2. I saw Hunter's eye open there. What was that about? And what's the dark one? Are those used up? Yeah, I don't have any ciphers. Okay, so there should be nothing here. Picking through its systems and structures with care. Let's find out what's going on with that. Even though it could hurt. I saw that 25% neutral outcome. That's something. I'm not sure if eating is worth it right now, but we can at least... Let's max out our energy right now and get another one of these done. That's progressing really fast. It only takes one more day then, I guess. Let's end the cycle. Going home early from work and starting chores. That's okay, Daisy. I'm sure you're up to it. Also, it's very good to see you show up, Daisy. Thank you. So yeah, again, we lost energy. Potentially because of this right here. Here's Feng. He catches your attention as you approach the Haven Age building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. Easier to come in this way, security and all that. He gives you a look, you know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on his server stack, I assume that's what he's doing right here, and gestures around you. You like it? You know, it is. It's incredible. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from this sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. I'm curious. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, AE-1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the eye and think they're seeing a concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. At least that's what I'm trying to do. I immediately support him. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections, you can see. You can, right? Yes, I definitely do. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. Thank you for the reminder, Daisy. I'm having a drink right now. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. Yeah, they are tracking me. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place, subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. Like the hunter, maybe. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. Yeah, I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. I like that. He walks back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. Definitely going to do that, because I think I can convert some of what I've just gotten into some of the other stuff. I wonder if he's going to sell those ciphers too. You step, blinking, back into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. A new drive? Oh my gosh, I've got a lot of these now. Build a ship mind? Disable your tracker. That's a handy one. Extract the past. Get to know Emphis. That's the cook. Study the winter light and survive, which I'm not sure I'm doing quite well yet. What was that? Oh, Feng's Bay. Okay. Let's see. I have one of these. This gate keeps traffic out of Havenage Shipyard's internal network. I don't think I want Havenage. I don't think I want their network, though. Someone is broadcasting on the open network, leaving them open to data extraction. I could, but let's make that a low priority. Because I don't like the idea of just taking somebody's stuff just because they didn't have good security. Systems untouched since the collapse. This is what I think he was looking for. So let's use that. So the old gate flips open. We have new nodes? We do. This network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. Sounds like it could be useful. Not like the most useful. Notice leaking corrupted contractor lists from the early days of the system's palladium rush. Can't really access it anyway. This node is orbited by the remains of a corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. Even though I'm open to extraction, we're not really looking at the new people and new things right now. We're looking for the old stuff. 1 or a 2. It's mining cryo. And if it's just cash, and maybe we can repurpose it, that would be good. It's an encrypted key. And now we've got 1 mark on that hunter. Gang Enforcer's implants. But yeah, we don't have access to that right now. Contractor list, no. Why don't we take this one? Okay, Solheim data. Let's see if we can sell this stuff now. Fang seemed interested in it. He wants this data, which is that. And we've gotten 1 progress on this now. And 15 cryo, which isn't really impressive, but I mean, it's something. I wonder who encrypted keys are going to then. First thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like cat eyes. The darker the corridor, he nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatagan. They trail off. You should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That appears to be it. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign matter, and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. Huh. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. We'll start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay. Sabine cracks the glass neck on the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site. A fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fades into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yeah. The stabilizer is genuine. I sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more. But you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Get out. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somewhat, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine, nothing comes free, sleeper, remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Oh, look at that. Fully stable. 100% stable. We're going to get some food then, too. Let's get some fungus. Super spicy fungus. A B Metacard. Look at that. We are fully full. Okay. Well, what is that dot for? Acquire stabilizer. It's 100 cryo. 100 cryo for stabilizer. Scrap freighters come back. Sometimes there's something valuable. Scrap allowance. Big stuff goes to the shipyard. The valuable stuff to the markets. Now you buy a few crates, but not much more. Stay docked for as many crates as it takes to offload its haul of scrap. They'll pay a wage. What are the odds on here? Oh, positive is not common. Sometimes something valuable. This buy some crap seems like a repeatable gambling thing. And this would look like a limit rather than progress. And then this is just a timer. Okay, so I don't think there's much to be done there. This is also a timer. I don't know what's really handy for that. Let's do the forensic trawl again. See what we might find out. Negative outcome. Plus yard clearance. Okay, so that's another limit. Well, let's see what happens if we rest. What's tomorrow going to look like? That's a taco dragon, Tibble. You didn't know that's a taco dragon? Come on. A gyro. Yes, look at that. We're up to a full 5 because we're stable. Okay, so we'll make sure to get more food, because I think we'll be at 5 until we lose another 2 or possibly 3 bars here. We have a lot of options. And the hunter's looking for us. Okay, I was hoping that would reset, but I guess not. Okay, we don't have any of those. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't like the modern open thing. It doesn't seem like that's going to yield any good keys for us. But I do want to know what's going on with the agent. Neutral, we got some data. And that is like a knife on a circle. That is scary looking information. We have a 2. 2s aren't very handy for other actions anyway. Another encrypted key. Not really handy, but I mean, it's something. One or a 3. A 4 or a 2. We definitely have the 4. Another 5 cryo. That is adding up. I didn't expect that to mean much, but I mean, it's like food every day just for doing this stuff. And there's more Solheim data. Awesome. The hunter's looking for us for sure now. Okay, no, we want to go to, darn it, not Dragos. Feng. So let's deliver some data. It's not worth much, but I'm hoping that getting this down here is going to help. Yeah. Yep, doesn't want either of those. So we get one more of those, and we'll have progressed that. But the hunter's definitely looking. There's another 50-50. But we got a plus that time. That's helpful. Where else? Low end toll is 60. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. But definitely gonna eat some more fungus. Nom nom nom. Bonus energy, fungus. And we've got the fungus fan. Does he have a new thing? Yes. Sleeper, Emphas calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok. I see you cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spice is rich in your nostril, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Emphas. You look at Emphas, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story, something with spice. All the sleepers, you tell Emphas, had dreams. Some were simple memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray, skeletal after-images of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now, until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink. And now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. You tell them you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps you reason it's just some side effect or a peculiar quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is, it's a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles, you are quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he's trying to gauge how honest you've been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal he's cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the empty market. But my time is done for today, and I don't want to keep you any longer, so I'll make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple cycles ago. It said that across the gap in the greenway fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Memphis begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I can't cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. I'm sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I'll prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Good, booms Emphas. Then I'll wait for you to bring some. Emphas slides his walk away and straightens up. I'll prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Emphas's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food. You think a trade that seems more than fair. We have one more action left. And I think I want to spend it over here. So once again, try this forensic trawl. And then we go to the empty container to sleep. Even though we're being hunted. Wild oranguru. Okay, so we still have 5 actions. We lose 2 energy, which means you have to eat. We still have the 5 actions. And are we being hunted just as much by this guy? Yeah, the hunter's still like right there waiting for us. So we can go to the shipyard. I don't think we have anything for Feng. No. Is that the same counter? Yeah, so that's just ticking down when these ships are going to leave. See if buying a drink is going to help. Okay, that's good for 1. What about rations? Good for another. Okay, so we're making progress for being a regular over there as well. We definitely don't have 100. And we don't have enough for that. So why don't we take on that hunter again? I guess that's what's going to happen. Okay, can't do that one. There's a Havenage. This Havenage, though, they're not going to have those soul slime stuff. Or Solheim. Is that another havenage? No. 1 or 3, we don't have any of that. Can we use one of these to get through it, though? No. So it's a match of 1 or a 3. And we don't have an upgrade over here, so let's work the yard a little bit. There we go. Squeezed into the office at the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on the winter light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. Office's ship registry. Check the monitor first. Reactor failure. That's the verdict anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in section, blotches of colors marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor, you're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It's thumbprint sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it's troubling you. Hey, T-Mac! Yes, indeed, a nerd. This is a very nerdy game, but also a very dystopian game. Let's check the slate. Your attempts at reconstruction of the winter light before its failure accident consists of series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. It was no off-the-shelf model, it was heavily modified. Parts are placed with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project that kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened. The corners rounded to disguise the change, but they're there. A plain list shows the registration history of the winter light, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells a story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyagers that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The winter light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the winter light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the winter light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments, armored and air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Ship-mined ROMs, shimmer, cryo chain codes, And then the final entry, passenger sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here, in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter or luckier? How would they convince the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essen-Arp? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winter Light's compartments you had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you found in their compartment. A parting gift from Essen-Arp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard, 2, one after another? That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal, thinking. And you see that thumbprint again, and the mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed. And when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago's standing in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you've assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk faster than you realize he could move. You run an investigation here? What am I paying for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing it through his implants. Where is this ship from? Are you hiding something, or stay silent? Oh, look at that. We have scrap to sell off of this, too. Leave this alone. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. The ship had a sleeper on it. He freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you, look at the terminal at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You're lucky it was you that made it out alive, not them. He folds his arm indignantly. Drago seems to steady himself and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me. I think he's ranting. I'm going to stay silent. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. Yes, I have. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you're after. You can't work here anymore. Yeah, what about the Winter Light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about that damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it's done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Someone did kill them. And you want to meet them? He shakes his head. We're done here. In the dark Dragos' headset glints. And you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get it from the desk, and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset and as expressionless as ever. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Oh, thank you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of a disappointment. You walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. As you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winter Light, and whether or not that person will come for you. I think they will, though. Okay, upgrade. Self-repair is what we're shooting for. We need 2 more to use scrap components. Wait a minute, was that? Yeah. So we have 1 action left. We can force the hunter to show up, but we won't have any actions when he does. We can work over here at the other shipyard too. And risky though it is, it's not danger. And at a 6, we're 100% positive. Yard hand is done. So since we prepped at the other yard, we'll just switch one work for the other. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast, a landscape of plating and frames. All along her flanks, torches glitter, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon... Sorry, she's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning on the railing. He's thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina. He adds with a smile. Hi, he replies plainly, then shifts a little closer down the rail. Mina stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship, or just admiring. He shifts Mina's weight to his other arm. I think we're working. Me too, he flashes a Haven Age pass. I knew it just to look at you. I mean, he stumbles a little over his words, not wanting to be misunderstood. I mean, you look like a worker. She's Mina's and my ticket out of this place, our escape vector, so to speak. Yeah, the ship? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Haven Age contract on the Sidereal Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall on a new world. Yeah, what is transit support? Someone needs to stay awake to keep the thing running. That's a colony ship, friend. The Celis Foundation is sending thousands to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. What about the Foundation? Lubot, you mean? And Daisy, thanks for the hydrate reminder. They're Haven Age's client. Yeah, some wealthy project from the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out, helping rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. I agree to that, too. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated, grumpy face. She glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Haven Age crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. Yeah. He looks out at the sidereal horizon, as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. We've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me. She says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Mina smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies. Is that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk down the walkway away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot. Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. I tick it out. So the entire shipyard, I think, is working on this ship here in the middle. I think the yellow here is a separate ship. And obviously it's hard to say because there's so many different things kind of attached here, but yeah. Empty container. And hunted. It's building up. Now, should I be repeating it? Because I don't think that's a thing that I need to do right now. Let's end the cycle without an extra stabilizer. Because I don't think it's one stabilizer per day. That's way more than I'm making right now. But we definitely need stabilizer. Because we are losing up here. Okay, so we got a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 6. Let's get into some trouble with this hunter. That's a 1. And it's probably coming for us now. We got Solheim data. Okay, Hunter? Yeah. A glimmer of the dark catches your eye as the orb of Hunter's head approaches in the distance. It's looking for you. Yeah, why don't we hide? You slip down into the ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now, that roving orb, wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it's here. Hunter's here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way. It's waving threads, creating a cage. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You're caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing, comes the scream from behind, but you're already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You awake dizzy, distorted, but safe. That was better than I thought. And I think this is what we need to give to Feng. Did we? Oh, no data. There we go. There you go, Feng. As you enter the bay, Feng is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseen eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Feng's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These snaky shitheads. Yeah. Sleeper, that you or am I in trouble? Feng's grinning head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I've been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on loose bundles of cable to blanket the dark floor. Feng is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Feng waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. I'm going to say people. But whose people? I'm going to guess Solheim. Bingo, he taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners. And, he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Yeah, who is Hardin? That, says Feng, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags a stool up beside him, and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. Yeah, how is that possible? Like thousands of... No. That's it. He's right here on the station now. Feng leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Feng leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Feng raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept all the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of palladium-rich workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. Yeah, how'd you know that part? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Feng turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked at Solheim ships. They breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Feng's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal's edge. And the work they paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak. My parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going. Still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you're a company man. Feng relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. He brings up a map of the lower edge. Havenage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happens to float to the top. Feng zooms in on far yards. Feng grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid, and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Feng holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Feng puts a hand on your shoulder, but you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. It's true. Feng grins. If you can't extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. Yeah, I'm up for it. I knew it. I knew you'd be happy to catch this snake. And don't worry, once we nail this guy, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. I haven't forgotten. Feng scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I am to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Feng digging through the data, among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was. A vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future engineered to line someone else's pocket. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Yeah, the yellow is the ship then. Okay, so you don't want to do poor work. Junior Tech is probably a good place to be. And we've got one good die to save for that. They will pay for that. And they'll pay for this data too. That doesn't even take a die. 10 cryo. 10 cryo for data. Seems like it should be better than that. You're home for now because we're hunted. 3 more. Got 3 more cycles maybe. Food and the low end. This is an agent for a 1 or a 3. You can't do it. This is for a 2 or a 3. Let's bypass. Got Havenage data. Not really what we're looking for, though. That's another 2 or 3. Another neutral outcome, Havenage data. Let's use the Havenage cipher then. Shipyard servers slotted. Well, it's 2 circles, but I guess it's just one thing, even though it's 2 circles. And that means we're done with everything we can do here. So I think it's time to do a little bit of work. Yeah, we're not doing that. That one's still risky because they have a watch list. But we can come back here. Positive outcome, so no quality control issues. This is basically guaranteed positive outcome, which got us 2. Does he want Havenage data? Okay, no, there's nothing to be done with him right now. Okay, it's noon for me, and I have to wrap up some stuff here and get on to the rest of my day. I think 2 hours is actually an improvement for me for streaming, though. T-Mac, Daisy, Tibbles, thank you very much for spending some time with me, and you're very welcome, T-Mac. I'll make a point of putting this onto my YouTube at some point, so that whatever VODs are falling off of Twitch over time, they're still available. I don't know if anybody actually has any interest in that, but it'll still be there. Thank you, Daisy. I have practiced reading before, but compliments always appreciated. I find this a very compelling story so far. I like the idea that this is a copy of a person not the person themselves who was sent out by data, but also apparently their contract was not what they were told it was, because it seems like they were simply enslaved into working on an asteroid. And they're one of the ones that managed to escape. And I'm wondering if there is another sleeper on this station. Is it another copy of the same person? Is it a worker from the same place? You know, there's a lot of interesting stuff with that. We also haven't seen what the green zone looks like. And there's a whole lower area that the gang is stopping people from going over to. I don't know how many different areas this ring is going to have. But ideally, with 2 more of those points, we can start using scrap to repair ourselves, so we won't be completely dependent on the stabilizer. And with 1 stabilizer and more available for 100 each, it is at least within our grasp, if not something that we can get immediately. We're at 107 credits, and I know that's, or cryo, I know that's enough to get 1 more stabilizer, but it doesn't seem like it's 1 more for, you know, a sustainable lifestyle so far. I'll make a point of streaming more often and more regularly. I've started to do that. I think this game will keep me at it. But I can also feel my throat's getting a bit raw. So it's definitely going to be a couple of days before I do that. I wish I could put up a schedule, but I never know how tired and depressed I'm going to be on any particular day. So today was a pretty good one. I'll definitely be doing it, I believe, within a week. Ideally, just in a few days. But we'll have to see how long it takes. And if anybody wants to see more of the Spirit Fair, I absolutely refuse to finish that game. Because I do not want to see the ending. I'm sorry, but it's going to ruin me to see the ending of Spirit Fair. So I like leaving it exactly where it is. They're out at sea forever, and I never have to know any more about it. So I'm going to leave that exactly where it is. Ooblets has had a couple of updates, but I don't think there's anything radically updated. And I have plenty more games to be playing besides this, but I like this one right now. I hope everybody has a great day. Yes, I will take care of my throat. It doesn't feel like it's really bad, but I can feel a little bit of something going on right now. A little bit of like a raspy irritation going on, so I don't want to strain it anymore. Again, I'll see you next time. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I will definitely be back. I'm going to put us back to the waiting screen.